the release date for Super Mario Bros. Excited to see this movie. I'm gonna see if I can find anything to flip to resale while we're on vacation. Fine, they had a PS3. Alright guys, it's day 3 at Universal Studios Hollywood. We only have one thing left to do, that's the Simpsons ride. But we're probably gonna eat breakfast, do the studio tour, or we might do the Simpsons ride. Honestly, the wait is over an hour. And that ride, to me, sorry if you take any offense, is only worth 15-20 minutes at most and nothing else. And we're also maybe, leave the park. We're gonna watch the Super Mario movie today because it came out. And then I'm also probably gonna try to sneak by a thrift store because I know the thrift stores here have Universal and Disney merch from a long time ago. So I'm curious to see what I can find here in the LA area. Alright guys, so we got some breakfast in us, still eating a little bit of it. We're heading down to the studio tour to give it one last ride. And we may just head to our movie then. We'll see what we end up doing. I have to say, today is the release date for Super Mario Bros. Excited to see this movie. I hope they did it great. The only thing I would have said is Chris Pratt's voice as Mario, but I think I can look past that as long as it's got a good storyline and it's very entertaining. Let me know in the comments what you think about the movie if you've already seen it.
Voice is here to the back lot. It is the oldest and largest soundstage on the property. It was constructed in 1928, about 30,000 square feet. Our sound stages here came into existence. To get a peek inside one there to the left, that sound stage is 10 and 11. You can see a better look at what it looks like inside on your screens. But currently 10 and 11 are home to Grand Crew on NBC, starring Nicole Byer. And coming up on sound stages 7 and 8 here to the left-hand side, these are currently home to Bel-Air on Peacock, a dramatic reboot of the 90s sitcom Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They're also home to HBO Max's Hacks. Hey, there's my friend Yannick. Say hi, Yannick. HBO Max Hacks starring Jean Smart. She won an Emmy for both seasons of that show. And just before Hacks, we had NBC Superstore right there in 7 and 8. Now, Superstore also filmed over here in Soundstage 14. 14 is the largest, second largest on the lot. Home to NBC Superstore, as well as some other iconic feature films like Jurassic Park. The scene in the first movie where Dr. Grant is inside the Jeep as it's dangling off of a tree was all done there in 14. As well as Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. We built no carpet right inside 14 here. As well as another Ron Howard directed feature, Apollo 13. This is where we built Mission Control. Realism was an essential element for Apollo 13. After all, we were recreating an important moment in American history, a moment many Americans witnessed on television. We thought about filming in Houston, Texas, where the original control room for the Apollo missions still exists. Unfortunately, NASA's engineers didn't have filmmaking in mind when they built Mission Control. Since there was no room for the elaborate camera cranes and tracks we needed for the shots, we had to build our own Mission Control. Now Ron brings up a great point, and Ron was actually a TV star before he got into directing. And here to your right-hand side, seeing some of our famous TV stages. These have been home to some popular sitcoms like The Jeffersons, Martin, Coach, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. But more recently, we've got Based on a True Story starring Kelly Kiyoko. It's coming to Peacock later this year. There on your right in stage 16 and 17. Coming up on the right-hand side here in stage 19, we currently have Killing It, starring Craig Robinson on NBC. But these TV stages were really instrumental back in the 50s especially, when we entered what was known as the golden era of television. And film productions had sort of slowed down on the lot. Our TV productions really helped to keep the studio afloat at that time. Now here on your left-hand side, you'll see our first celebrity sighting. It's the world-famous talking teddy bear, Ted. Ladies and gentlemen, he's toasting, he's celebrating because he's coming back to your screens later this year in the Ted Pickle series. Pickle to the Ted films, Ted 1 and 2, starring Seth MacFarlane and Mark Wahlberg. Now he's also introducing you to our famous bungalows here on the lot. These small tan buildings to your left are currently production bungalows. They're home to some of the most popular production companies. But back in the day, in the early decades of the studio, they were home to some of the biggest stars like Marlon Brando, Doris Day, Jimmy Stewart, just to name a few. They all used these bungalows as dressing rooms while they were here working on various productions. Now again, today they're home to production companies like 7 Bucks. That's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's production company. Right next door to them, you've got Monkey Paw Productions. That's Jordan Peele's production company. They produced all 3 of Jordan Peele's films. As we come up on the next few bungalows here, look right down the middle to your left. You'll see that large green sphere-like object that says Wicked. That's Mark Platt Productions. He was the team behind the Oscar-winning film La La Land, more recently Babylon, and the upcoming movie adaptation of the musical Wicked. Now here to your left, you'll see Bungalow 5195. There's a familiar silhouette there. On the front, that is Alfred Hitchcock's silhouette. That was his office while he was here back in the day, working on films like Psycho and The Birds.
Lou said he can move into that office. I said, no, I can never be in Hitchcock's office. That should be a shrine, a museum.
Very exciting, just to know that he was there and walk by and know he was in that office.
Hitchcock has influenced every director.
I saw Hitchcock once walking around the commissary.
Hitchcock had his bungalow on the lot. I used to go see Alfred Hitchcock.
I loved working with him. I highly respect him. He really understood fear and terror.
The Birds, that was a really scary movie.
The Birds? Oh man, that had me looking at crows like for the next 10 years.
Psycho, of course.
Very good.
Now it gets an extra peek at Psycho later on the tour as well, but as you can see, a really revered spot on the lot. But as we pass by the bungalows, we've reached the end of the front lot. We're making our way to the back lot now. This is the home to more of our exterior sets. Sets like practical sets and facades, like our Metropolitan sets that you're going to get a sneak peek of to your left as we go up this hill. Currently, American Ninja Warrior was set up on our Metropolitan sets. They just finished production, so they're doing what we call striking the set, meaning they're taking it all down. They've wrapped filming. So get a peek at that. Some of their production elements are still up. So as we go up the hill here, in just a moment, take a look to your left, and you will get a better look there at our Metropolitan sets and American Ninja Warrior. You can see on your screens a few more examples of facades and practical sets, things that we'll be seeing here on the back lot. Facade means that it's just the front and two sides of outside of a building. We use them for exterior shots. Our practical sets have walls on all four sides, as you can see here, as well as the interiors are fully crafted and constructed so we can use them for interior shots. That's and some of American Ninja Warrior. But as we make our way past the concrete jungle there, we're going to head up to the real jungle of Skull Island, the home of King Kong. Here's Peter Jackson to tell you more.
The original King Kong that made me want to direct movies.
They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side. Working on a movie.
What you just witnessed from the safety of the tram, which I prefer. Now we've left Old Mexico and we've entered the Old West here on our western sets. This is known as 6 Points. These are some of the oldest parts of the lot. The birthplace of monster movies. Universal is known as the birthplace of monster movies. Films like Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, all filmed here in Little Europe. So take a look around. You can probably picture all the angry villagers now with their pitchforks chasing after the monsters, but perhaps you're not a monster movie person, you might recognize it as The Good Place on NBC with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Take a look at this shot here to the left on the corner.
The afterlife.
The blue and red window.
I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to.
I point that shop out on the corner because that's that good shot. Right there you're seeing on screen.
It's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
No, it doesn't. Also here in Little Europe, if you're a fan of musicals, perhaps Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella with Brandy and Whitney Houston filmed here. Perhaps Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement, if you have any Disney fans out there, also filmed here in Little Europe. A wide range of productions, all very different. And we achieve having all these different kinds of productions in one set through our art direction and production design, like I just mentioned with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But more specifically, art direction, that's the department that's in charge of coming in and making a production have its own specific look and aesthetic with different props, what color the walls are, all that.
Happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, the nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the movie and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? What? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show.
Oh, it's all
Not looking so live. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. Welcome to the world of no.
Going on, and as cool as that seems, I'm going to do what's best for us and get out as quickly as we can. And as we leave Jupiter's plane, we're coming up on our grand finale.
Alright guys, we got off that studio tour. This one was an amazing studio tour. Everything was open. There's stuff we haven't seen before. So if you come to the park and be like, I've been on the studio tour before, you go again, because there's always new stuff all the time. Hold on. So like I was saying, guys, if you've done the studio tour before, always keep doing it over and over again, because there's always new stuff. You see random actors walking around, new sets, everything to explore. So always do it again. Now, we didn't do all the park, unfortunately, in 3 days. We never made it to Simpsons. I'm not going to wait more than 15 to 20 minutes for that ride, because it's just not worth it to me. But we did literally everything else. So I'd say we're like 98% completion. We are heading to the movie now. We are going to Cinemark for the 2 o'clock showing. Elizabeth, that is the wrong van. You're pulling on the handle of. Real nice, real classy. We're gonna go to the movie now. It's at 2:05. Right now it's 1:11. The movie's about 15 minutes away. We'll probably make a pit stop, grab some lunch, and then hit the movie. See y'all there. All right, guys, we're going into the movie now. We're in the parking garage right now, so it's super dark, but I'm sure I shouldn't bring my GoPro into the theater. It's probably frowned upon, so I'm not gonna bring you guys with me, but I'll talk to you on the way out. Yeah, children, they're fun. All right, guys, so we got the Super Mario movie. It was amazing. My only complaint is it should have been longer. It was like an hour and 45-minute runtime, maybe not even that, maybe just an hour and a half. And me personally, I would have liked it to be a lot longer, but I did find a thrift store right next to it called Valley Value Center. I'm gonna see if I can find anything to flip to resale while we're on vacation. All right, guys, we made it to our hotel. I couldn't record in the thrift store. Security said no. So unfortunately, that was a no. That thrift store was crazy. There was probably like 200 plus people in there. It was insane. But it had some good finds. They had a PS3, normally 50, but everything was half off today. So I got that for 25. Got this vintage Minnie Mouse for $2. The Jungle Book character, I can't think of his name right now. Got him for $1.50. King Louie. And then all this plush right here. Like there's a Cabbage Patch Kid. Got all this plush right here. All kinds of stuff. Got Toad. I spent $4.50 on all of this plush. There's all kinds of Lion Guard stuff in there as well. Then I got this SSX for PS2 for $1.50 because it was half off. Each of these PS2 controllers for $1.50, or not $1.50, $3 each because they were half off. And then this Xbox controller for $4.99 because it was half off as well. Should be able to make $90 profit to help go towards the vacation with all that stuff. But I am done. We're done for today. We'll be in Disneyland the next 2 days. So that'll be a little 2-part video series. And I am going to go take a shower and probably go to bed. It's only 7:05, but I'm tired. So I'll see you all at Disneyland. Safe travels.